So Elizabeth and her team do canvassing, neighborhood canvassing. They do individual canvassing for people that have received eviction notices, just letting people know about the eviction process, let them know about their rights, ask if they need any assistance getting to court, helping them understand the process once they're in court, et cetera, et cetera. So they've been plugging away at that. I have to say, from their perspective, it's a pretty frustrating process because they see so many people that once they get an eviction notice, they just essentially self-evict, and they just don't even bother trying to go through the process to keep their housing. And I know it's hard to see people do that. Also, a lot of people just have given up in terms of, since there's not the eviction prevention, rental assistance resources that we had during COVID. The financial assistance available is not always there, and so people just don't even bother trying to keep their housing. So, but one on the upside, I'll jump ahead real quick to item E. One of the recommendations from legal aid through the process of implementing this VERT program was that we start a landlord-tenant mediation component to it, which we've talked about in previous advisory board meetings. And we are almost at the finish line in terms of actually being able to finally implement our landlord-tenant mediation program. So we'll jump ahead a little bit. Sarah, do you want to give an update on that?
Yeah, so I'm in the final stages of getting certified. My last thing was to do 3 co-mediations and I got 2 done. I just have one more and then I'm done. So I've been in contact. The hard thing is I have to do it with 2 different mediators, so I can't stick with just the one. So I've been coordinating with this other one and he's busy until November, so I'm waiting for him to let me know when he's going to be court sitting again, and then hopefully by the end of November, by hopefully mid-November, I'll have that last one and can get certified. But yeah, thank goodness. It's been it's been a process.
And as I think I've mentioned in previous meetings, both of the judges who handle the bulk of the eviction cases, both for the city and the county, have agreed to refer people for landlord-tenant mediation. It's obviously voluntary, you can't require it, but they've both agreed to extend eviction proceedings or delay the proceedings to give time for mediation, which is great. So hopefully a lot of people will take us up on that, and Sarah can help keep a lot more people in their homes. So as a result, so we're excited about that.
Yeah.
And in terms of financial assistance update, we are running low on funds. We did reallocate a little bit of money in the budget to be able to handle a few more cases, but we don't have a huge amount of money available. We expect to spend it all down probably, I'm guessing, in the next month or so. But we're still able to handle a few additional requests for financial assistance. For the vast bulk of the requests that we've received this year have been for rental arrears, which makes sense. But occasionally we'll get a request for somebody who needs some childcare assistance or transportation assistance, and we've been able to help some people in that regard as well. We'll get a whole new big bucket of funding starting in January. So but we still have a little bit left, and Sarah has stepped up, as we announced at the last advisory board meeting. I think it was the last one. Our VERT case manager, Claudette Green, ended up taking a different job. So Sarah is now wearing both hats, both as our landlord engagement specialist, but also as our short-term temporary case manager. So she's handling those financial assistance requests, and thank you, Sarah, for stepping up to do that. But come January, we will have hopefully have a new full-time case manager by then. I mean, hopefully before then, so that when that new big bucket of funds comes into place in early January, we'll be able to hit the ground running. Let's see here. DHCD site visit. So Caroline Stokes and potential assent to Leslie from the Virginia Department of Housing and Community Development, who run the VERP program on the state level, are going around to all the VERP grantees just to say hello and get a sense of what's happening on the ground in all the different communities where VERP is operating. It's not an audit. It's more a chance for them just to get to know, again, the eviction situation on the ground. And then as part of that visit, they're actually going to be sitting in on an eviction hearing. So we've got a team of people from our VERP program, including at least one or two folks from the PDC who will be joining us. In addition, our legal aid liaison, Gustavo, will be there, as well as Elizabeth Stark, who does the court navigation. So we'll have a good little session talking about the eviction crisis here in Charlottesville and Albemarle County, and then give them a chance to actually sit in on a Albemarle County eviction hearing that same day. So that's coming up November 9th, I believe. So we're looking forward to having them here for that. We already got the landlord tenant mediation program update. Sarah, do you want to talk about renters education?
Yeah, so we did have like 6 people sign up, and we like sent reminders and everything, but no one ended up showing up for it. So, which I mean, I kind of expected at least one person out of those 6, but so I think we've kind of been talking about maybe making it more of a requirement in the future, if we're providing like rental assistance, that the tenant attends that, because I think it is a lot of good information, but I totally get, I mean, if it's just like voluntary, things come up. And so yeah, we're trying to figure that out. But I mean, it's still on, like, because I'm doing it every the plan is to do it every Tuesday, like the first Tuesday of the month. So we'll see what happens in November. I'll see if we get anyone. But yeah, that's the update.
Yeah, and the goal over time is to, as we're doing more landlord engagement, is to, figure out ways to weave in the renters education piece to, within the different collaborations, partnerships, so that there's sort of a natural tie-in and a captive audience, if you will, for those classes. So one sort of bit of positive news in-house in terms of our capacity is that as of 2 weeks ago, we now have a full-time financial coach on staff with the FOC. Previously, we had one person doing part-time financial coaching for the FOC and then doing part-time housing counseling for aspiring home buyers. But we now have a full-time dedicated financial coach who is available to not only the general public, but more to the point, to anybody that's getting services through PHA, for instance, VERP clients. And so we're looking at, now that we have additional capacity for financial coaching, is getting more VERP clients connected with financial coaching. So it's not just a matter of cutting a check for somebody, but our big picture vision for VERP has always been that we're helping them build their own capacity to avoid being in a position where they're ever facing eviction again. And so a big part of that is helping them with the financial coaching that's available. And that's tied in with employment coaching and benefits navigation. It's helping people improve their incomes, reduce their debts, improve their money management skills, improve their credit score, all the kinds of things that are going to not only help them to achieve financial stability, more or greater financial stability, but also to achieve greater housing stability. So we're excited about that. And we're actually now advertising a second full-time financial coaching position, which is an AmeriCorps position. We're very excited about that possibility as well. So just working to build our capacity to help more people achieve financial stability. And then I mentioned earlier, we're going to be posting soon. We haven't yet, but posting soon, case manager position, the vacant VERP case manager position. We're in a leadership transition and a reorganization right now at PHA. So things are kind of on hold in terms of advertising new positions, but that one will hopefully be advertised soon. And if you all know of anybody who would be a good case manager for VERP, basically somebody that's working with people that are at risk of eviction, helping them, whether it's getting them connected to short-term financial assistance or getting connected to financial coaching or any of the other supports that we can provide to help keep them stable in their housing. So if you know of somebody that would be a good fit for that job, please keep your eyes and ears open. Once that's posted, we will share that posting with the VERP advisory committee so you can help get the word out. So, Sarah, did you have any other announcements or updates you wanted to share? Or?
I think that's it. Yeah, hopefully by January I'll be certified, and yeah, hopefully we'll have a lot of good updates by January. So yeah.
And I know Sarah's working on some long-term landlord engagement stuff, so you'll be hearing more about that as we move forward. So any questions about any of this or comments, suggestions?
So way back at the beginning, you kind of talked about the funding moving past 2024. And did I hear you right? That's a governor's office decision?
Yep. Yes.
What is your read on, because we will still be in our current governor situation, when that comes to pass, what's your read on how much of a priority that's going to be for the administration?
That's a great question. I will say to date, VERP has received strong bipartisan support in the General Assembly. It's been reauthorized each year with virtually no opposition. The governor, both the original, Governor Northam, who was originally proposing VERP, and then Governor Youngkin, who has sustained and in fact expanded VERP. I think the signs are good, but obviously they need to see results. They want to make sure they're funding something that's actually benefiting people. The good news is that all the VERP grantees are reporting strong outcomes across the state. Where all of our programs are a little bit different, so yeah, to answer your question, you can't take anything for granted, but it's pretty rare to have a program that does receive such strong bipartisan support. So hopefully that continues into the future.
Hey, Dave, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So thanks for the update. I was wondering about the renters education classes. That's just for people who are enrolled in VERP, I'm assuming, right? No.
Let Sarah talk about that. Yeah.
No. It's anyone. It's open to the public. So there's actually, and I can send out the link if you want after this, but it's on our website, how to sign up. So yeah, that's totally anyone can come. Yeah. Okay. So, I'll send the link after this to this group.
Thank you.
I have a question. I was just checking out the PHA website, just making sure I'm up to date on the resource. It looks like for the Financial Opportunity Center, like the phone number that's still listed, I think it's yours, Dave.
It's quite possible, yeah.
As the primary phone number, just like hours of operation 9 to 5, contact Dave Norris, FOC manager, then as the number and your email address. And then I look for like a main, I'm just curious from an accessibility point of view, like, does that need to be updated? When I look at there's like a link on about halfway down the page for an informational flyer, and it also has your number, but it also has like Tanya Howard, Claudette still on it. So I was just wanting to make sure you were aware that, I know you guys probably are deep in the work every day, but then I was thinking about how do people access your program, and can they access it easily? So just want to make sure you know that.
Yeah, thank you. Our website is desperately in need of upgrading. It's something we've been talking a lot about recently. Sarah has some really good ideas for not only just making sure the information on the website is more readily accessible and current and accurate, which it isn't right now, but also perhaps more importantly, or just as importantly, is helping people using the website as a resource to help people access services. So so they can do an intake right on the online. They can access other resources with, without having to call a bunch of people or use a phone tree or whatever it is, But and I don't know, Sarah, if you want to add anything else about your thoughts, but you're probably a thought leader within PHA about how our website could be improved.
No, I mean, yeah, I think there's a lot of things. I mean, we've talked about this because we've been doing like our strategic plan to get things updated. But I would love for there to be in the future like an intake form like specifically for VERP. So like for the rental assistance, or like if they want mediation, they can go separately, and then something that can track everything, which in other nonprofits that I worked at, we've had something like that, and then everything's tracked because I'm learning there's a lot of data that needs to be collected, but like different people need different data. And so I would love in theory to have something, yeah, like on our website where we have that to make it easier, because right now it's not very easy. So yeah.
Great. Well, thank you all. Oh, was there one more? Okay. Great. Well, we can move towards the round table. Is there anyone who would like to start us off?
I can start off. It's nice to see you all again in a new capacity. So it wasn't that long ago. That was with Blue Ridge Area Coalition for the Homeless. I am now with Albemarle County Office of Housing as their program manager. So yeah, it's good to see you all. I'm glad to be involved in this program. And thanks to Laura Jean and Carter for getting the invite over to me. I'll be emailing with you all very soon, I'm sure. So you'll have my new contact. But yeah, excited to be here and excited to hear about the opportunities here through the Housing Navigation Hub and through VERP that might benefit some of our clients on the Housing Choice Voucher program, like the Renters Education Program. So yeah, excited to see where we can collaborate some more. Thanks.
Anthony, can you give us a quick update on sort of Albemarle County's rental assistance, resources available? Because I know I saw a posting, I guess Sarah sent me a posting yesterday that one of the programs has reopened, and then I guess Pathways is in the process of reopening, or
I don't think I have the ability to speak
okay.
accurately on that at this moment. So
Okay,
I
that's
don't
fine.
know. Carter might know, but I don't. I'm sorry. I
No,
can.
that's okay. I was just curious.
Yeah, I know it's coming. I don't know the status of it.
There is a new program. I think it's Albemarle County Emergency Relief Program that just launched through the Office of Human Services. With Sam Spencer is the new AD for that office, and so that might be what.
Yeah.
I don't know. Was that sent out to the community? Yeah. So that is live now, I think, as of like very recently.
But that's separate from Pathways, right? As I understand it, or
It is from the city. Yeah.
right. Well, yeah, but the county also has
They
some
had that.
Right.
I think they both before previously, as my understanding is, they both collaborated on the Pathways program, but now it's just a city funded initiative as I understand it, and then the county is coming with this new program.
Oh, okay. Cool. Thank you.
Okay. Thought you want to go next?
Go ahead. I can mute again.
Oh no, I was gonna call on you next. If
Oh.
you want to go.
Sure. So I had a thought. I know that I've worked with a few people who, for a variety of reasons, just struggle, even with maybe financial education or support, still struggle to pay rent on time, for often due to a disability or something else. One of the things that I've been trying to figure out, and not sure if you've looked into this, is pay services for somebody who's willing to say they receive a disability check, and they have a voucher, so the portion of their rent is affordable for them, but they just don't do well with managing their money, and so therefore end up spending on something else when they should have saved for their rent and utilities. And then by the time rent and utilities roll around, I ran out of my money because I did this other thing. And now I'm mounting up debt and edging toward eviction. I think that from what I understand, like there's not too many services that do that, maybe outside of Region 10, maybe APS on a very limited basis, or private companies. But have you thought about that? Do you have any thoughts on maybe how we could maybe offer that service more widely for people who are interested?
It's not something that, oh, Sarah, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're okay. I was just thinking, so I've worked in like homeless services in Richmond, and we did work with payee services a lot. I will say it's very hard to get people to agree to it. And if it's like APS has to be involved to like force it, so it becomes like kind of it's a little sticky. I don't there's definitely like we worked with like private companies, and there was a lot of issues with them like not paying rent on time. And so then like the tenant was, or our client was like forced us like paying late fees and stuff because they didn't pay it on time. It was like kind of a mess, but there was like a specific company. Anyways, it was kind of a mess when I worked with it. Again, this was like homeless services. Maybe if there's like a different clientele that it's like willing to do payee, but again, just from what I was in, people did not want that. So yeah, just my thoughts.
Thanks for that. Yeah, and I'm definitely thinking about, there's definitely the whole consent thing. And I have actually talked to people who want to pay, but then I think finding someone to actually do it is a different barrier. So yeah, I'll keep searching around. Thank you for that.
It's a good suggestion.
Justin, do you have anything to share?
I did have a question, actually. Carter, you mentioned the county's emergency relief program. Is that, once you brought it up, I was kind of looking for the resource.
Yeah, so it's not through my office, but it was shared with all of us in like the county's social services and human services. So I do have information that I probably could share. Has it all, I guess I'm just not sure also sort of if it's gone out from the Office of Human Services out to
I
the
don't think it's ready to
community.
launch quite yet, probably.
Okay.
I think they're still finalizing stuff. Yeah. So that's probably why it's not accessible quite yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I would love to, because I searched it and I'm looking at the rental assistance page, but nothing was jumping out to me as being new there. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see that resource when you have it. I'm always trying to help people better understand the resources available to them, because I think that's probably almost as big of a problem as not having enough of them available, but not quite.
Yeah, absolutely. Once it's ready to go, we'll shoot you over some info on it. Justin.
Okay, thanks.
Carter, was there anything else you wanted to share before we wrap up?
I'm sorry, was that to me?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I guess I haven't been in this space before. So I also work for the County of Albemarle Office of Housing as the housing program coordinator. So half of what I do is landlord engagement for the voucher program specifically. And then I also work on like some kind of special projects that are, maybe more long-term as part of the position, but that's sort of who I am. And so I'm excited to meet you all in the space. I've met a couple, I think, in other spaces, but yeah.
Oh, sorry. Carter, I would love to connect with you. Can you just put or just send me your email in the
Yeah.
chat?
Yeah,
Great, so I can,
absolutely. Yeah.
because that could be, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. BJ, amazing work, and thanks for giving all these updates. We will be meeting again January 25th at 2 p.m. unless there are any major concerns with that. And hopefully we will have our new planner at that point too. So be looking forward to meeting a new TJBDC staff member. Hopefully. Great. All right. Well, thank you all so much. Sarah, did you get the email? We good to close out? Okay, great. Have a great afternoon. See you all later.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, this one is not ended, but I think that's recording on that one. It doesn't matter, it's still recording.